You're not here by accident. Something deep inside you guided you to this precise moment. And once you finish absorbing what's shared here, you'll begin to understand why. Perhaps lately you've felt overwhelmed, as though your life is filled with uncertainty and challenges that seem to have no purpose. But what if all of this is actually the clearest signal that you're about to step into the most powerful and meaningful chapter of your entire life? What most people never realize is that the universe always whispers before it shouts. It sends signals and subtle cues before a massive shift occurs. The real tragedy is that most people never recognize these signals for what they truly are. They misinterpret them as bad luck and surrender just before their breakthrough arrives. But not you. You're here, and that already means you're paying attention. Today, I'm going to walk you through 7 of the most powerful signs that your life is on the verge of a profound transformation. If you resonate with even 3 of them, prepare yourself, because a new reality is already unfolding around you. The first sign: you begin questioning everything you once believed about life. If recently you've caught yourself reflecting on your values, your beliefs, your goals, or your sense of purpose, it's not by chance. It's because something deep within you has already begun to shift. This internal transformation may not yet be visible on the surface, but it is very real. It's as if the old mental frameworks you once relied on are beginning to dissolve. And yes, that process is uncomfortable. But that discomfort is sacred. It means you are waking up to a new version of yourself. The universe is inviting you to re-examine everything you've previously taken for granted: your relationships, your direction, your very perception of reality. This isn't a crisis, it's an awakening. It's life urging you to dismantle the illusions you've been living beneath, so you can open the door to something far greater than you've previously imagined. This shift in perspective is essential for your evolution. Your mind is now prepared to expand, to embrace new ideas, and to step into a future aligned with your higher self. These questions: who am I really? What do I genuinely want? Am I living in a way that honors my soul's calling? Are not merely philosophical reflections. They are portals. And once you step through them, there is no returning. Suddenly, the world feels unfamiliar. Things that once made perfect sense begin to lose their meaning. Certainties dissolve. And while that may feel like losing your footing, it is actually the moment you begin finding your true path. This disorientation is the universe's method of clearing the way, creating space for the authentic you to emerge, free from the old roles and expectations that no longer fit. It's like a spiritual cleansing, a dissolution of the false self so the genuine self can finally be born. In its wisdom, the universe begins stripping away the masks, the outdated identities, and what remains is raw, honest, and real. Even though the process feels like chaos, it is actually creation. You are being rebuilt, stronger, wiser, and more attuned to the truth of who you genuinely are. Remember this: questioning is not a detour. It is the beginning of the journey. You are not losing your way. You are finally beginning to see it. And yes, it is frightening when the familiar falls apart. But that falling apart is precisely what creates space for something greater. you are not broken. You are breaking free. It's not only your beliefs being challenged. You may notice that your relationships, your habits, and your daily routines are shifting as well. People who no longer align with your energy begin to fade. Circumstances that once brought comfort may now feel suffocating. That's because you're releasing everything that doesn't resonate with your new frequency. Think of this as an internal cleansing, a filter that allows only what nourishes your soul to remain and releases everything else. And yes, that means letting go. Letting go of comfort zones, of familiar pain, of the illusion of control. These things may have once felt like core parts of your identity, but they were never truly who you are. They were simply instruments for a different phase of your life. What comes after is where the magic truly lives. On the other side of this upheaval is a new version of you, more resilient, more conscious, and more deeply aligned with your authentic nature. You'll begin to sense it, a subtle yet powerful feeling, a mixture of fear and exhilaration, as if something extraordinary is on the verge of occurring. That feeling is not a coincidence. That is your intuition speaking. It is the signal that your consciousness is expanding and that you are dissolving the limitations you once placed upon yourself. As those internal walls begin to fall, something beautiful starts to grow. New aspirations, new purpose, renewed energy. And here is where the transformation truly deepens. You'll start receiving answers, but not always in the way you expect. They might arrive through unexpected encounters, synchronistic events, or a book that mysteriously finds its way into your hands at exactly the right moment. Even without all the answers, you'll feel it. You're on the right path. Because the very act of questioning is transformation already in motion. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. Don't fear the questions, welcome them. Embrace the uncertainty. Allow yourself to fully feel the discomfort because it means you're growing. Every great transformation begins this way, with confusion, with doubt, with a sense of falling apart. But what you're truly doing is falling into place. And when you finally surrender to this process, you'll start perceiving the signs the universe has been sending you all along. They've always been present, patiently waiting for you to be ready. And now you are. The second sign. You begin to feel a growing disconnection from your past. This is one of the clearest indicators that you're on the verge of entering a new chapter in your life. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual, subtle shift that begins deep within you, often so quietly that you don't even notice it at first. But slowly, almost imperceptibly, the things that once excited you, that motivated you, that filled you with genuine energy and purpose, they begin losing their hold over you. What once felt like the center of your world starts feeling strangely distant. Maybe you've recognized that the hobbies, conversations, or routines that once brought you authentic joy now feel hollow. It's as if you're observing the same world through entirely different eyes. Eyes that no longer light up at the same sights. Ears that no longer respond to the same sounds. The people you once felt deeply bonded to, the places that once felt like home, they now seem unfamiliar. The emotions once tied to those experiences have quietly faded. and in their place settles a gentle but unmistakable sense of detachment. Not coldness, simply a quiet recognition that something within you has moved on. This shift is not random. It is not a fleeting mood that will dissolve with time. It is something far deeper and more significant. It is your soul, gently but firmly, nudging you forward. It's telling you that you've outgrown certain moments, certain relationships, and certain versions of yourself. Your perception of life is evolving, and as that perception transforms, so too do your aspirations, desires, values, and the connections that feel meaningful to you. Suddenly, the things that once formed the foundation of your identity no longer feel like they belong to you. They feel like echoes of a life you once lived, shadows of a self you no longer are. It's a disorienting experience. You don't always know where you're headed or what you're meant to become, but you know with absolute certainty that you cannot go back. You cannot keep pretending that the old life fits the new version of you that is quietly emerging. It simply doesn't. And somewhere deep inside, you already know it. Your previous routines, the role that once defined your worth, the social circles you once felt at home in, even the thoughts that structured your daily existence, these all begin to unravel at their edges. And yes, this unraveling can be deeply unsettling. It can feel like loss. It can feel like grief. But simultaneously, it is one of the most unmistakable signs of genuine personal transformation. It is your inner being making space. It is you shedding your old skin so that something far more aligned with your true essence can finally emerge. Releasing the familiar is never simple. There's a quiet mourning that accompanies letting go of parts of your identity that once felt permanent. But this disconnection you're experiencing is not meant to punish you. It is meant to prepare you. It is clearing the ground for what arrives next. Think of it as an opening in a dense forest, freshly created by time and change, now ready to receive entirely new life. What's approaching may not yet be visible, but it is developing silently just beneath the surface of everything you can currently see. The loss of connection with your past is a sacred message from the universe, one that tells you, even if you don't yet fully understand it, that something new and more aligned is on its way. This isn't about abandoning everything you've known. It's about releasing yourself from things that have already fulfilled their purpose. It's about loosening your grip on attachments that no longer support your growth. You're entering a period where you're being called to let go with grace, to release the roles you've performed, the patterns you've repeated, and the masks you've worn for far too long. You're being invited to step into a life that reflects who you are becoming, not who you once were. This transformation doesn't always follow a logical sequence. It may feel uncertain. It may feel as though the ground is shifting beneath every step. But within that uncertainty lies the genuine promise of something beautiful, expansion, rebirth, and the opportunity to rediscover yourself in ways you never previously imagined. As this sense of disconnection deepens, your beliefs begin evolving as well, especially the limiting ones you never thought to challenge before. That older version of yourself, the one who accepted certain truths without question, who followed external expectations, who moved with the crowd even when something inside quietly disagreed, starts to recede. You begin examining things you once took entirely for granted. You start asking questions you previously never permitted yourself to ask. Perhaps you find yourself turning inward more frequently, discovering that the external world no longer holds all the answers you need. Perhaps your old structures are dissolving, not in a way that destroys you, but in a way that quietly sets you free. You might struggle temporarily to define who you are in this new space. But despite that uncertainty, one truth remains crystal clear. You are not the same person you once were. You are evolving. You are expanding. And that old version of yourself no longer fits the life you're being called toward. There is a deep desire rising within you to be reborn, to step into a version of yourself that is bolder, freer, and more authentic than anything you've previously allowed. You may not yet know exactly what that version looks like, but you can feel it calling to you from just beyond the horizon of your current awareness. As this disconnection deepens, fear may naturally surface. Fear of releasing the familiar. Fear of losing what once felt safe. Fear of stepping into the unknown without a clear map. But hand in hand with that fear comes something equally powerful: liberation. There is genuine freedom in no longer needing to be who you used to be. There is real strength in releasing what no longer supports your highest path. That empty space you feel when the old falls away, it is not emptiness at all. It is potential in its purest form. It is the fertile ground of entirely new beginnings. It is the signal that something far more aligned with your soul is quietly preparing to emerge. You stop clinging to the past. You stop trying to breathe life back into what has already run its course. Instead, you open yourself to possibility. You allow yourself to grow into someone entirely new. Every day brings you closer to a more honest version of who you genuinely are. Not the version shaped by fear or obligation, but the version that has always been waiting patiently for you just beneath the surface. So, if you find yourself drifting away from who you once were, if your old life no longer fits, if the people, habits, and dreams that once felt essential now feel distant, know this with complete certainty. Your soul is guiding you. It is leading you with great care toward a new beginning. This disconnection is not the end. It is the quiet, sacred beginning of the transformation you were always meant to experience. The third sign, you find yourself questioning what you once believed was truly important. Have you ever noticed that what used to feel absolutely essential no longer carries the same weight? It's as if you're suddenly perceiving life from a completely different vantage point. Things that once consumed your worry seem to lose their grip. Material ambitions, other people's opinions, social expectations, they all begin fading in the presence of something far more meaningful and real. You start questioning what genuinely matters to you at the deepest level. Career achievements, financial accumulation, public recognition, they all seem like small fragments of a much larger picture you simply couldn't see before. you begin recognizing that the true meaning of life isn't found in satisfying society's standards. It's found in living in authentic alignment with what genuinely resonates within the core of who you are. It's as though a veil has been lifted, allowing you to see past the surface of things and into the essence of what truly gives your life meaning. This inner questioning isn't always comfortable. It can stir up significant uncertainty and make you feel adrift amid conflicting ideas. But that very space of not knowing is fertile ground for genuine growth. That is precisely where new answers begin to surface. Answers that emerge from within rather than from outside voices or inherited expectations. Life starts revealing to you that fulfillment doesn't come from accumulating possessions. It comes from experiences that enrich your soul and connections that nourish your spirit in ways nothing external ever could. This questioning can spark a complete reevaluation of your purpose. Why are you here? What do you truly want to experience? What kind of impact do you want to leave behind? The answers don't always arrive instantly, but what is certain is that you're opening yourself to new possibilities that previously felt out of reach. What once felt indispensable is gradually releasing its power, making space for new passions and a deeper longing to connect with what truly matters at the soul level. This is a clear signal that you're preparing for a radical transformation. The universe is directing you toward what genuinely fulfills you, toward your most authentic path. And although it may feel disorienting at first, this is actually the doorway into a more conscious and intentional existence, one fully aligned with your purest essence. This shift in perspective usually unfolds gradually, but once it begins, you realize it can no longer be ignored. You start noticing that things which once gave you security now feel hollow. You no longer feel compelled to follow what society defines as success. A new energy is taking hold, drawing you toward a more authentic life, one far less shaped by external demands. This process isn't simply about rejecting the old. It's about creating genuine space to allow the new to enter. The passions and interests you may have set aside are suddenly reclaiming your attention. Perhaps you're rediscovering pursuits you once abandoned, or exploring entirely new territories you never previously considered. You no longer feel the need to fit into a predetermined system or walk a well-worn path that was never truly yours. Instead, you're seeking a direction that genuinely reflects your deepest values and your real purpose, the one only you can define and only you can walk. This period of questioning may also bring a temporary sense of solitude. You might feel increasingly distant from familiar friendships or your usual social circle. It's a natural part of separating yourself from external expectations in order to uncover your inner truth. But don't be afraid. This solitude is only temporary, and rather than something to avoid, it becomes the very environment where genuine self-awareness blossoms. Over time, you'll naturally begin drawing toward you people who share your evolving vision, individuals who resonate authentically with your expanding worldview. The fourth sign, you feel more deeply connected to your intuition than ever before.